and welcome to another Checiegirl Creations video. So today I will be flipping through my first ever completed sketchbook. Now I do have like a couple sketchbooks kind of like around, but I've never like properly completed one. Now this took me about a year, and I started off like really strong, and then I ended up injuring my wrist, so then that just kind of threw off everything that I was doing. So then instead of like completing it in a couple months like I wanted to, it ended up just being stretched over the year. But I'm still really happy that I completed it. And let's go through. This is a Crawford and Black sketchbook. It is A4, 130 GSM, and you can get it at The Works, and that's a UK craft store. And it's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's anything special. I would say it's better suited for drier mediums. I have used watercolor and gouache in here, but it is a bit of a struggle, and if you want to use wet mediums, I would recommend priming it first. So this is my welcome page. I actually did this, oh, I forgot to actually put the end date. I have to put that in. I actually did this when I finished the sketchbook, just because I felt a little bit, it felt too scary to like do anything on the first page when I first started, so I just decided to leave that until I was like ready to. So this was done with some like these new brush markers I got for Christmas. And then the first part of the sketchbook is pretty much just autonomy sketches. I got really into doing anatomy, did I say autonomy? Anatomy sketches, because I really wanted to like get better at my anatomy. But once I injured my wrist, all of that just kind of went down the drain, so I'm going to have to like get that started back up again. So it's just a bunch of anatomy sketches, like hands, eyes, nose, all that. These are done with ballpoint pens, and then these are gouache. And I was really proud of the gouache ones, and I was like practicing like separating tones as well. So the gouache ones that you'll see, the majority of them are just one color, and then white and sometimes black. So you can see these are ears. And a few of these are actually videos on my Patreon. So if you're a patron or you want to check that out, I have all of my previous Patreon videos available for all patrons now. So I'll link that in an iCard as well as down below. And that's just from £3 a month. So a lot of these anatomy sketches are on there. You can see I was really getting into gouache. Around this time I had recently bought some gouache, so I was just like wanting to practice with the medium. And I had kind of like started off just doing individual body parts, and then I started to do like faces just to kind of compile everything. I was really happy with this one. And a lot of these sketches, the photo references are from Pinterest. And my Pinterest is linked down below, so you can find the reference photos if you want to under the anatomy board. And then these are some sketches for the character I did for the April Showers Coffee challenge that I did last year. And I'll like link the playlist if you want to give that a go. Some more like sketches. This is just some patterns with like gouache and ballpoint pen. This is like the blob challenge, and then this is some alcohol markers. And this sketchbook, just like most sketchbooks, I think the alcohol bleeds through. So then I would just maybe just kind of sketch like some random things, but not too much on the other side. This was brainstorming for something. I can't really remember what, but I obviously didn't do anymore. Some more blob challenges. This was when my hand was injured, so I was like drawing with my left hand a lot. Those alcohol doodles were actually done with my left hand. And then we've got some landscapes. I really liked practicing landscapes. This was also done with my left hand. Yeah, it was done with my left hand. I really enjoy doing landscapes with like watercolor and gouache. This was like a continuous line drawings. Again with my left hand. I was just oh gosh, so why is this so sticky? I had decided that I didn't want to stop creating just because I couldn't use my hand, so that's why I did quite a few things with my left hand. You know, this is from using masking tape to create a white border and it leaving a really sticky residue. Oh, and I have all these paper towels in between things because the gouache I use is just this quite like budget gouache, so it's a bit chalky and I didn't really want it rubbing together, especially when I was using the sketchbook. Now I probably don't have to worry about it too much since it's just on my shelf now. Okay, there we are. This is more landscapes, and again this is like watercolor and gouache. Some kind of figure sketches. Some more patterns. I explored making patterns a lot last year, and again this is gouache. I got really into using gouache in my sketchbook, so the majority of this stuff you see is most likely watercolor and gouache. Some cloud studies, some like doodles. I really wanted to finish this before the end of the year, so I just like made a bunch of like squares with some like cheap chalky watercolor and then just doodled over it with like gel pen or ballpoint pen. Just some kind of random, this was like a random like creature design done with markers, and then these were all like brush markers. This is like after Christmas, so I was experimenting. And this isn't chronological at all. Like, so I didn't tend to, sometimes when I painted I would like either prime the other side, or I would just do markers or like pencil or pen on one side then paintings on the other, so I didn't distress the paper too much because it's pretty thin. Just some like gouache faces. This is some gouache patterns. These were patterns when I was planning to do for my Patreon icons. I wanted to kind of brainstorm what background would be for each icon. So these are some more of these like square doodles. You've probably seen most of this on Instagram or Facebook if you follow me there, because like the majority of these aren't videos, only really at the beginning of the sketchbook, so I tend to just share my sketchbook spreads on Instagram. This was the 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge, and I did this creature. His name is Gouache. He was named by one of my patrons actually, so I thought I would see how quickly I could draw him. Some more gouache. This was like some like studies of some flowers, like meadow flowers. I really like these actually. I would like to, because I use reference photos for these, I would like to do my own and for like a background or something, because I really did enjoy doing these and like in the same kind of style. I wanted to try to do gouache with like a more graphic look, and I really liked how those turned out. I think something like this would be like cute for stickers. Some more like patterns. This is some negative painting, so it's watercolor as the base and then gouache on top. These I really like. I really like how these turned out. I played around with negative painting a lot last year as well. Again, more of these like doodles. And then this is like the studies for when I was sketching to do the gecko Patreon icon. And this was done with color pencil. And then this was for the snake tear icon. Again, done with color pencil. Nothing fancy, just some random color pencils that I've had for years. All sorts, from W.H. Smith, Crayola, nothing fancy at all. This was when I was playing around with my new brush markers. This is actually done on Christmas Day. Yeah, so I was really excited to play around with them. And then this is actually the last page. And again, I was just playing around with the brush markers, just like practicing. Typography is the word. This was, my sister was really desperate to actually use the brush markers, so I let her, and she did this like weird heart thing. And yeah, so that's the end of the sketchbook actually. And yeah, I really like how I enjoyed, when I first started off, I think I gave myself too many rules and I was doing a lot of anatomy but not much. And I liked how, like, by the end of the sketchbook I was doing a whole bunch of like different things. So I think I'll go with that. And as well, I realized that I don't really like to film myself doing a sketchbook. I like it to be a little bit more relaxed. So in my new sketchbook I want to be more relaxed with it, just experiment, practice my anatomy for sure, practice like patterns and backgrounds, and just like drawing other things as well, just kind of like really broaden, but as well just like experiment a lot. So this is my new sketchbook. You guys probably seen this before because I did do a video on doing the cover. Now this is from Strathmore. Strathmore actually sent this to me, and it's the Vision sketchbook. This is the mixed media one, and you can customize your cover. So it's got a really nice thick, I think it's like 300 GSM or something, toned paper cover that you can customize. So I use acrylic on this and I really liked how it turned out actually, because it's kind of like, I would say it's a bit like me holding the sketchbook, like my artistic version of myself. So yeah, and then I also did the welcome page for me to then like put the date to when I started. So I'm really looking forward to starting it off and filling it. There's a lot more pages in this one because my previous one is 30 sheets and this is 70. I would really like to complete this though within a year, and I think that would be a really good challenge for me. If I can complete this sketchbook 70 pages in a year, I'll be very happy. And I think it'll also be nice to work with like a slightly nicer quality because this is 160 GSM, so it should take wet medium a lot better. When I did this page, it didn't really warp. It was such a slight curl. It wasn't noticeable, and it's not coming through on the other page, whereas there was some bleed through even with the pens and stuff through these papers. So I'm really looking forward to getting into my new sketchbook, and I really like how this one is. It's all like beaten up and all filled with stuff, and I love it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. And do subscribe if you haven't already, and please do click that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload every Friday. And let me know, how many sketchbooks have you completed? Are you on your first sketchbook? What do you use your sketchbook for? Because this sketchbook is very much for experimenting and stuff, but then I have another separate sketchbook that I use for like planning my pieces. So let me know how you use your sketchbooks, and what sketchbooks do you use? Like, have you used many different brands? Do you stick to just one? Let me know. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.